Hello everyone, it's Estelle here with Masala, and today we are going to explore a dungeon called the Perinian Depths. As you can see in the map, it's on the mainland of Caesarea, and to get there you take the right exit out of Britain and go up all the way to this little corner of the map here. There's a nice looking temple in the way that you will get to eventually, and as soon as I manage to fix this map, we will get on our way. As always, you should double check if you have your protections and everything. I have, so let's go. This dungeon has mushroom traps and a lot of monsters that can be somewhat sketchy to deal with. The corpses are not too much of a big deal. This is a normal dungeon, which is not hard for this character at all. But still, there are dread spiders with their nasty poisons, and a few other enemies that you should always be careful around. Gazers can also poison you, and they drop nightshade, which is always useful to have. And stone harpies have a real high physical resistance and a lot of health. See, even for my character, takes 2 hits to get them down. Let's go all the way up first before we venture in the walled section. This dungeon has only 2 floors as opposed to most of them that have 3, but it still takes a good chunk of time to get through it. There is, as you can see, those mushrooms randomly can trigger traps and explode in your face, so be careful when stepping above them, because death vines can paralyze you. They drop regular wood, which isn't much. We have our obligatory potion of gender change. And some minor items. If you have been following the series, you know that I am not too concerned with this character, because she's really strong and doesn't have a lot of need for the low end stuff we might find here. What I care about is decorations that we can usually find in chests or in large named monsters. And there are a few around you. This low level undead will cast spells on you. We find the lucky chest. And as you can see here with an altar, there aren't that many rooms around. Let's go through all of them. You can see most rooms here tend to have multiple enemies. So if this is your very first character, you might wanna take some of the easier dungeons a few times before you come here. Not even by the difficulty of the monsters themselves, but mainly because it's easy to get swamped. In here, there is in this room above, there's a slightly stronger monster that you should be wary of. This magi is healing like crazy. Anyway. Here you can see a greater corpse. Those things have a lot of health, and they can do very strong poisons on you. You see, I did almost 300 damage, and it was about 20% of the health. It also breaks my barding really easily, even if as I am at maxed skill. I have 125 in barding. So as you, especially if you are melee, you should be very careful with him. But we took it down. Got a fancy robe. And not much of notes. Let's spam heals. We did it. Just another night. Even killing them isn't as important. Oh look. I wonder if we could get the appearance of a regular wraith instead of this grey ashy one. Let's check this chest that we have down here. Unhappy, which is much richer than this one. And she calmed me of all things. Apparently is a body happy. So we can have to wait until that goes up, but let's check this. Not much. A young vampire. Those are the same that you find in the ancient pyramids. They recover some health, sometimes they can change forms, and they cast spells. There is nothing to worry too much about. Up here we have the stairs to the second floor. But let's check that one chest, that one container above here. See, I killed the vampire, but he changed forms, so I have to kill him again. You should be careful of those stone faces. If you walk around them, they sometimes breathe fire on you, which can be very harmful if your resists are low. This dungeon in particular isn't too specific in which resists you should have, but I have as a policy that I avoid things that breathe fire in my face. Let's do a big loop around and then complete the internal part. As you can see, this is a very large dungeon. Just checking here. A mummy. Mummies are the enemies that you find in the ancient pyramid, and here we have another vampire. They're considerably stronger than the baby vampires. They turn into this kind of gargoyles, but you can use your usual tactics and maybe paralyze them or poison them and wear them down easily. Let's go here and around. I sometimes manage to hit the enemies with my mace. I have a nice little artifact here. Doesn't do much for me, but I like the name. And even though I have 0 skill in bludgeoning, it's not on my auto loots. Even though I have 0 skill in bludgeoning, I still hit sometimes, and the mace can do some damage. Golden serpents are one of the reasons why you should come here to farm their drops, which are used in crafting. The golden serpent venom, and they are somewhat dangerous themselves with their deadly poisonings, which will take me a few classes to heal because I can't be bothered to have a separate macro for Arch Cure. Since we know the off embargoes, we'll try to take it down in one. Oh, I see, it bothered me already. Never mind. So I am poisoned, and I can't cast spells. I will not be. I could go up and try to lose her, but the odds of finding more enemies are not very enjoyable. Yeah, let's take it out. For some reason rubies are not in the autoloot either. Let's make sure that they are there. Elder Gazers are much stronger than regular Gazers. They have a lot of stronger spell effects and much more health. And accordingly they have a better loot pool. 11 points of majory in one piece of equipment. That's really nice. As always, your mileage with drops will vary. This character has a lot of luck on her gear, but this is a decent enough place. The silver serpents also poison like there's no tomorrow, and their venom is also used in crafting. Let me make sure I add this to autoloot. I like to use Wither mainly because I don't really have to target anything, I just have the pause button. I could use Earthquake for Majory, but it has a much longer cast time and mana cost. Especially on the later dungeons, when you have lots of enemies around you, having Wither and the mana gain from the Wraith farm, it's really good. Excuse me. Let's try to get a drop on her. Yeah, no barding for us today. Thank you. What is this? Rare magical scrolls with 15 lockpicking, 8 psychology. That's nice. And a radioactive looking doublet with a lot of skills. Let's take down the serpents because their venom is useful. Even though healing through them it's quite annoying. And up here there's a big nest. It's usually a mistake to leave spellcasters alive behind, because you might need to do a tactical retreat later and they can poison or paralyze you. Really? Here we have a dragoon and a much more dangerous harpy. Let's try to get her. We didn't get her, but almost. Dragons have, as usual, a large loot pool of gems, which are a good source of gold early on. Locket chest. Trapped chest. Locket chest. Yeah, never mind. Let's see if we find more serpents. There's another one up there. Maybe there will be one more. There is a silver one. And let's get back into the dungeon itself. Drinking from pools, not recommended. Elder vampires. They don't have a lot of health, but they can paralyze you, they can poison you, and they have 2 forms, which kind of gives them a buffer. If you're familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, the tabletop role-playing game, it's like every single one of them has 4 dots in vicissitude, the power up the Timisi, so they can shape into a war form. It takes me 3 casts to get the mummy down the chain. Don't have to care about this knight. Honestly, we don't have to care about many things anymore. A regular book and some coin. Let's see, a vampire's guardian's chest. And here we have our first stealable, which is, we'll be getting there shortly. This big room with the pillory has another elder vampire. We didn't have the time to shapeshift, and as you can see, the mummy paralyzed me. Their paralyzed lasts for a little bit longer than most monsters. And they like to do it a lot, especially when they're fleeing. I think it's kinda cute that the baby vampires turn into bats and the other vampires turn into the dwarf gargoyle thing. It's a little bat. And just another vampire. This will manage to one tap. I was debating if I should continue doing this series on my poisoner or in this mage or in some of the stronger characters, Because once you have crafted gear, instead of replacing your artifact stuff, you get such high levels of damage that you can just one tap everything. It becomes very trivial, so maybe for the videos themselves it would be slightly, they would be shorter, which would make the viewing experience a bit easier. But I don't enjoy playing with the extremely open characters very much. As you can see here, there isn't much of a challenge for this character to deal with this, but I still have to make decisions and think on what I have to do in the order of things. If someone with a pretty busted bow, you don't really have to worry too much about that. This really fancy room, I love the decoration, has the boss of this place. Let's not piece her, let's see what she can do. Baba the Vampire Queen. She paralyzed me. Turn into a gargoyle. And die. And we have the heart of a vampire queen, which is something that you should always collect if you come here. If you manage to kill her, you might need it later on. A few more rooms to south of here with another one of the stealables. You might get luckier than me with decorations. But this in general is a reasonably chill place to be. It's not extremely difficult, and we have the stealable and we have something that we need to take. Candle of blood. Hold on. Let me take care of this. We got ourselves a candle of love. What is it for, I wonder? Well, that will be for the next few episodes. But that's it for this dungeon, guys. It's not very long. It's only 2 floors, as I mentioned earlier. But it's a nice enough place that you can get once you get your bearings. Can I recall, please? Also you can get your bearings, and hopefully you have more luck there than I did. See you in the next one. Bye bye.